It's called the Jesus smack.
Yes.
And it is when you do something and then Jesus comes and just bam, gives you a good whack and wakes you up to just being humble and a good person again.
Yeah, we can just
We're just going to lead right into that.
talk about how it was easy to pull into the office today, which was not the case yesterday.
Yeah, so yesterday I get to the office and our driveway was blocked, and there was a huge line of cars. I'm not joking when I say 40 plus cars down the street.
It was the same when I got here. We drove separately because I have my own car now, which was very nice.
We'll
But
have to talk
yes,
about that. So, but they were blocked, and I actually got upset. I was like, "You mother," because I can't get into my parking lot.
It's an industrial drive. Like, this is a main road.
This is an industrial center.
I was literally like, oh, someone's having a party. Oh, how nice. Maybe a little like office event or something. Because at first the cars, I was like, are all these people just parked? Yeah. No, there's people in the cars.
So they got bare, Chris. So I literally rolled down the window and I looked at her and I said, excuse me, I need to get into my driveway and I need you to back up. I was very forceful because I was just kind of like, come on.
You're blocking the drive.
So she's like,
there's business.
And then, of course, she responded with some sugar. She was like, oh, I'm sorry. And then, of course, that immediately calmed the bear. So I calmed down and I'm like, what is this? What is going on? What are you here for? I thought maybe she was transporting a vehicle. Like they were like just loading up vehicles on transports or something. And she goes, this is the food line. And my heart, I felt like such an ass in that moment because I sat there. I'm like, oh man. And then I'm looking at the sheer number of people lined up for food.
It was so sad.
And it just was that huge wake up call. I have a word for this. It's called the Jesus smack.
Yes.
And it is when you do something and then Jesus comes and just bam, gives you a good whack and wakes you up to just being humble and a good person again.
Yeah, we joke. Like, for example, one time Chris and I got into somewhat of an argument and I was probably a little bit too stubborn. So I was like, I'm leaving, which I would never like walk out of the house. By the way, this was like 4 years ago, but it's probably the biggest Jesus smack I've ever gotten in my life. And so I'm walking in the neighborhood. Like I didn't like leave and drive away in a car. I was just walking in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
and like
you were
2
walking
minutes
off steam.
Well, I was far enough away that it would be a long enough walk home. I mean, the skies opened.
And you got poured on.
It was like
it's like crazy. You know what? This was like a scene out of a movie because you literally, it's pouring rain. I'm at home and I'm like, she's totally getting poured on. So I jump in the truck and I go and we can see each other's location because we
have each other's location on each other's phone. So he knew where I was.
So I can see what block she's on. So I literally go and it's like that scene where like someone's walking in the rain and the other person is pulling up like, do you want to get in? And you're like, no, I'm not going to get in because I'm angry.
Except I was so like, I can't.
And of course, I'm laughing, which made you more angry.
So upset.
Did you end up getting in the truck?
Yeah, I got in the car.
I think you did. It was
pouring.
It was pouring rain.
Anyway,
what a good memory.
But I think that was Valentine's Day, actually.
Yeah, well, I'm sure
I actually remember the day very well.
That was our day, along with probably 30% of the other Americans celebrating, Valentine's Day.
We had a great morning that day.
Things just didn't turn out.
But seriously, it was the same incredible line when I came to work yesterday. And I think, you were talking to a friend, a partner, and, yesterday, and it was like, things are
another a good friend of mine, older than me, probably about by 20 years. I wouldn't say mentor because it's not like I go to him, but I do look up to a lot of decisions he's made and look at ways I can follow. And I was talking to him and I was like, and I was actually on the phone when I entered the line. So he kind of heard the whole sequence and he literally was like, this is the hidden economic difficulties that we're facing. You just don't see it. He goes, it's everywhere. And he's in real estate primarily now. And he's like, it is very tough out there right now.
And especially because we've been hit by these hurricanes. He's like, he said something to you that like stuck with me. He was like, if it was just a little bit worse, not that it's not bad. Like that's not what we're saying, but it's kind of like, it's not the news and the media and the knowledge of what's actually going on right in our local area, I think is less known than it could or should be.
Right.
And even last night, because we've said it before, we are incredibly fortunate. We are very fortunate. There are still tons of people without power.
Without power.
I didn't even want to say millions because it started off as 3 million. When I looked the other day,
still 100,000 people without power is a lot.
It's a ton.
It is.
It's a ton. And there are businesses and restaurants impacted, but there are people impacted. I mean, people that don't have food or accessibility or the money to go out. Yes.
Yeah, we went to dinner last night. We do try to patron and patron other small business owners, which includes in our life a lot of restaurateurs in downtown. And we went out to just we had dinner at home. And they were like, hey, let's go out and drink and say hi to our friends.
Look, we didn't eat 5 dinners last night. We had a salad at home, and we decided we would go get one tapas.
No, we were going to get some mushroom toast and have a drink at State Street downtown. And when we got there, it was off, and the lights were off.
It was closed.
So they have a sister restaurant called Beso down the street. So we then naturally went to Beso. And of course, we saw our friend there.
Well, the general manager who manages both restaurants, and we were like, "What is going on?"
Yeah. And he said, "We're out of power." He's like, "We got 27 people who are
out of work.
Out of work.
It's like employees, and keep in mind,
they can't pay them.
No, this is going on over a week now, and there are a couple of other restaurants on the same block that have, and like the electric companies keep saying it's going to be the next day. It's going to be the next day. These are like major power outages where like massive transformers blew. There's no fixing it, in a small job. This is a 10, 12-hour job that they need to, focus on. And some of these other businesses are running their business off of generators. And he was like, we just can't do that for the service that we provide and the space that we do it with the overhead we pay for. Like we wouldn't be profitable if we opened up without power. Like they have to order food. They can't order food because the fridges aren't working. So it's just this balance. And in the meantime, all these employees,
they're not just going to go get another job
of work
because they just have to wait every day. It's kind of like, okay, are we gonna be back today? Are we gonna be back today? We've been really good because we've said, hey, let's go patron these people more than we normally would, just because we know that they have to make up for days. But I want to put into a very important thing because it's something that you and I have had discussions about. And I think a lot of our business listeners, one of the things that we would want to talk to them about, which is, are you prepared to pay employees if the company can't bring in revenue, right?
If there's a natural disaster, if something happens where the employees physically cannot work, like,
correct.
I mean, the hurricane's a perfect example. It could be a fire. It could be anything. I mean, whether it's natural disaster or just a disaster, it's like, what are you going to do if it's outside of the employee's control? I think that's the biggest thing is that the employees
Let's use the word team member.
Okay.
I like to use the word team
member. What's wrong with employee?
I think employee sounds a little bit impersonal to me.
Okay.
And I think it pulls away from this idea of what we want to build, which is a team.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I think everyone hears me when I'm talking on the phone. I always say my team members, whatever, because we do want to cultivate family. I feel like I would like us to shy away from that word, employees, because even when we go through everything, I want to look at it like our team members. If our team members can't come in because of a national thing, they still have rent, they still have electric, they still have all the things that everyone has.
Well, especially right now, the thing that's hard is some of those employees that are out of work right now, they have damages to their homes that they have to figure out how to pay for them.
So
some insurance
everything's going to
covers.
roll downhill.
It is.
So the question is how much as business owners can we prepare for the future to mitigate the risks so that, one, our team members want to be a member of the company? Like one of the things that I think you and I talk a lot about culture that we've built in the past and the culture what we're building here. And I think what I really love is this idea that in some cases it's funny because I think we have a lot of talking points about this kind of concept, which is the difference between environment and culture and pay, right? And like trying to find the balance of, we might not be the most, the highest tier payment, right? So you're always going to find someone's going to pay you more.
Well, and also like any company that's a startup can't always be the highest paying employer.
Especially if you're self-funded.
the idea is that, like, if you're offering benefits, of course, salary and pay is top of mind, that you want to work your way up to that point where you can, you know, allow your team members who were with you in the very beginning to reap those rewards. That's why companies set up stock programs and equity programs, because it's
Right.
like, hey, you stuck with us when we weren't the, $1 million company that we are today, $1 billion company that we are today. But thank you for,
Right.
the time and the dedication and the trust in the direction that we were headed. I mean, it
Exactly.
is very hard to balance that.
So doing something like paying through a disaster and making sure that you're compensating the team so that we all get through it, right? Because there was time I was out clearing trees and stuff. I wasn't working, but we still need to get our paychecks.
We did things we had to do for our neighborhood, and
Right.
yeah,
And our team members were doing things for their house and their
Yes.
roads and everything else to get their lives back to normal. So I think the thought is just like, when you're looking at in your planning, you're not just looking at payroll based off of what your income is, but also, are you building up the reserves, or do you have the means to make sure that you can go get through? And
you
then
got to budget for these things.
and what's the time frame? Like right now, that restaurant is out a week.
And that's the thing. You might sit
That's
there and
zero
go,
income.
You might sit there and go, we can afford to pay our employees through the natural disaster. And keep in mind, like, what's crazy about hurricanes is that you're giving people time to prepare. It's so funny. Now we're going off on a tangent again, but some of these food groups, for instance, were like, are there any restaurants open? And people were, this is before the hurricane even hit. Before it even hit. Now, keep in mind, it's 70 degrees and sunny outside. Like, it is completely fine. There's nothing going on.
It's like a normal day
aside
in
from the
Sarasota.
fact that, like, it's hard to get gas and there's groceries that are missing from the shelves in the grocery store. People are in preparation mode. They're getting sandbags. Yes, you want to give your team members the time to prepare for a natural disaster. So, like, you're very accepting and flexible of being like, go home, get yourself ready. Don't be on the roads. Things are crazy right now. But some employees, are like, I'm concerned. I want the hours. Like, if I'm not at a restaurant, for instance, or if I'm in hospitality and I'm not at a hotel working, then, like, I can't get paid. And so I actually would like for you to be open. Well, there were some restaurants that, like, Element downtown, it's a very nice steakhouse, was open the night before the hurricane hit. And this foodie forum blew up. They were like, have some respect for your employees. I can't believe you're, like, staying open. These people need to prepare. And it's like, first of all, people have been preparing since Sunday.
People of Florida.
Second of all, like, there is no way in hell, like, darn well that restaurant, and I'm not a fly on the wall, but I'm assuming here that they sat down and they were like, hey guys, what do we want to do? We could provide dinners for people who are trying to save up groceries before the powers go out. Like, they're trying to go out for their last meal before they're stuck in a house for 3 days. Like we were.
Yeah.
We didn't know. But it was,
no, I told you. I was like, tonight's the night. If we want to eat out, tonight's the night. We got to go out.
That was Tuesday.
No, that was Monday.
Oh yeah, that was Monday.
I said that
And
Monday.
this was Tuesday night. But anyway, you sit there and it's like, these employees they would have voluntarily come in. There's no way the employer was like, you have to work. It was like, who here wants the hours? I'm
and
sure.
everyone said, yeah, I'd like to work.
And they had
because
enough
they knew they were going to be
staff.
out of work
Exactly.
after the hurricane.
And that's the thing, though. Like, some of these places shut down, completely shut down. The employer made the decision. The employee didn't have the choice. And so some places, make it so their employees can have a voice and have a say in what they're going to do that night.
By the way, because while you're talking, all I can think about is, like, we call our employees, our team members, proddies. So employees and proddies, it kind of sounds together because we build products, so we're proddies.
Yeah, like
So
our admin arm
I'm going to
is
start.
Proddy
I'm gonna,
HR.
It is. So our admin is Proddy HR, and so I'm going to start referring everything from
Just
team
so
members to
everyone
proddies.
knows, whenever we were talking about that, which must have been, I don't know, 5 minutes ago at this point, like, he hasn't heard anything since. Like, now that he's come out and said this.
No, it's kind of like it sits there and it's like
He's been
boiling,
mulling over this idea.
And I got to wait till you stop because I don't
he's
want to cut
come
you
out.
off. But you know what? We're in full swing. We got the holidays going. We got holiday decorating in the office right now.
This is so you're
No, it's all same.
You're
because I want to
swinging.
talk about
You are
parties versus
swinging.
and culture and money, right? So
That's true.
And you, while you were talking, my mind kind of jumped to what we had talked about pre podcast here, which was, you know, some employees in other companies or maybe in our own company and stuff would say, I don't know if I want a Christmas party. I would rather have the cash. And I was thinking about that comment that you made. And what I thought about was the Christmas party is not a form of compensation. It's not a reward to employees. What it is, it's a party to celebrate everyone, and it's a company expense. It's not intended to be a part of compensation.
And just for context, because we did have a conversation before we walked into this room, and I'm going to rewind just even a little bit further, talking about culture and companies. So the reason we were going to bring this up today is because I read an article that Zuckerberg had.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Had let go of 30 employees just last week. And the reason is because
and big employees, like little employees and big employees, like
yes,
6-figure engineers.
Exactly. And so they over at Meta, this article said they were a $1.5 trillion company.
Yeah.
They are providing breakfast, lunch, and dinner for their employees via their canteens
headquarters.
In the headquarters in Silicon Valley. And because that is a benefit that employees of the headquarters get to receive, they want to be fair and equitable to all employees, which is incredible and awesome that you work for a company that's capable of doing that. I mean, we talked about how like in the future you want to offer soups and sandwiches.
My dream is soup and salad.
Yes. And maybe one day we'll be a $1.5 trillion company and we can, do full breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But
anyone that comes visit the office, I will literally be like, let me take you to our little cafeteria where I can get you a sandwich, a salad, and whatever. And then if we're really doing well, like in the morning, like breakfast.
There you go. Well, the minute there's eggs and bacon,
I'll tell you
we've made it.
When you get an omelet station, fucking game over. Game over. Yeah. Because, anyone can make an omelet, but when you have someone that's making the omelet for you, you're like, yes, I'd like some sausage, tomatoes, eggs, mushrooms. There's something magical about an omelet station.
I would love to be the person making the omelets. I'm not going to lie.
You know what?
But
you can.
But anyway, I'm only a chef one day a week. So we're talking about this because what happened is they were trying to be fair and equitable to all their employees. They were offering and these employees either work remote or there are satellite locations, smaller offices that do not have the canteens and don't offer these meals 3 times a day. So what they do is they gave them a $25 voucher to use via DoorDash, Uber Eats, any of those things. And they can order food to the office. If they're working in an office, these people have the capability to get the same benefits and not the same food, but the same benefits that somebody else would working in headquarters. And what they found is that these employees were taking advantage of this system. And they were buying wine glasses and they were buying cosmetics and makeup and whatever they needed.
Up to $20
household goods. They were getting deliveries from grocery stores with toilet paper. I mean, they were utilizing this allowance essentially that was meant to be a benefit to work from the office and have a meal while you're there to provide goods for their homes. And again, you can sit there and say like, oh, well, what if they didn't have? But these were engineers. These were 6-figure employees. These were people that work for an incredible company with incredible benefits. And yet they were still working the system to take advantage. And it is one of those things where you sit there and go, what you shouldn't not offer benefits because you're worried someone's going to take advantage of it. We talked about unlimited PTO last night. It's like, where do you draw the line? And it's up to management. I guess they did warn people and said, hey, we've seen this is happening. Like, stop doing it. And people continue to do it and they lost their jobs. And it's like, you sit there and you feel like,
and so the conversation,
you want to be able to offer something really nice to your employees. And you're like, man, I, as an employer, am going out of my way, out of the kindness of my heart, thinking this would be an amazing benefit that I want to offer. And you literally, after everything I've given you, are choosing to take advantage of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could totally see that. But again, well, here's the thing. They were all told and warned in advance.
That's what it said.
And then they continued to do it. And so I think they did the right thing by warning. The cool thing is like, I could sit there and even in myself be like, hey, my company's giving me $25. I mean, what if I don't want food from the Chinese restaurant and I do need cosmetic makeup.
But it's like the people
I'm
that
still
are at
getting involved.
headquarters
But people
don't
at
have
headquarters don't
wine
have the
shelves to
choice.
choose
Yeah,
glasses
they don't just get to
from.
not eat lunch and go get cosmetics.
Right,
And I think that was
exactly.
the discrepancy. It's you know,
But that is what brought up the whole conversation. I was like, when you offer benefits, there's always going to be people that are really thankful and gracious, and then there's going to be people that have a problem with it. Like there is a no-win situation. Like you said, we've built cultures in the past, and we're working towards building, you know, our future. And there have been employees when I was also just an employee at a company who used to bitch and moan all the time, like, oh my gosh, this Christmas party is in this expensive place. And I wish they would have just written us a bonus check, you know, instead of
Right, but
throwing
see,
this,
they
I
don't
don't want to
find the
spend
value
the
in the
time
culture.
with all these other employees. Like, why would I want to hang out with you more? Versus truly being one of those team members that's like, I enjoy this kind of family oriented environment. I enjoy the benefits that they're providing me, and I like these people and I want to spend time with them. Like,
Right.
you know, you thrive off of building those relationships. And the older you get, the more you realize your coworkers, you're around them more than you're around your family. And oftentimes, like, you watch these people grow through life, get married, have kids, like, you are a part of their life. It's
Yeah.
not just a random. They do become friends and family. And so, and I know the whole idea of using the term family in business has become very, like, it's like a no.
Taboo.
Yeah, like these days it's like a no. Like, this is work. There needs to be a fine line. Like the new generation is like, I am your.
No,
It depends on who you're talking
It
to.
depends on who you're talking to. You know, I have that firm philosophy that no matter where you're sitting in the company, everyone's contributing to success at the different levels and the stations, wherever they want to do. Some people want to do certain things, and enabling them to do it is great and powerful. It'll benefit you overall. But like, I don't know.
Well, at our last company, we used to have a distribution, an email distribution, and it was FAM
It was
at
FAM.
companyname.com. And after a few years, it was like, that's inappropriate. We shouldn't be using.
See, that's a totally different thing. And that's when, like, and I hate to say that we kind of have gone through this woke culture.
We have.
Where it's like, I do feel like we've finally gotten to the other side of this
Yeah.
craziness. And so
Wow.
there's always something to be said for being fair and equitable and everything like that. But but I kind of feel like it starts hurting you once you start getting here and trying to culture. Here's the reality. We're here to benefit the company. I'm here to benefit the company. You're here. Maria, Megan, Brandon, Steven, all these people, all geared towards building the company. Okay. That's what we're here for. Like, that's the goal. And I don't care about my feelings. I honestly don't. I don't care about my feelings. If I'm not going to care about my feelings, I'm probably not going to care about other people's feelings. Do not take that the wrong way. If someone's having a bad day or something bad happens, I'm going to reach into my empty bucket, which is very shallow.
You'll try very hard.
I will try very hard. And most people would look at me and be like, he's not very empathetic. You know me. And you'd be like, dude, he emptied his entire fucking bucket for you today because he doesn't have a lot. And what he gave you,
And
was
what's
everything he
surprising,
could give you.
you actually have the biggest heart in the entire world. Like,
heart is different than empathy.
That is true. That's very true. Like,
So-
certain things profoundly impact you, and you'll actually be like, "Oh my gosh, I don't even know why." Like, it's made me emotional. But like,
Yeah, that's true.
there's other things where, yes, it's like, okay, this. I think when we talk about empathy, it's like when someone's going through a situation that wouldn't necessarily impact you in the way that it's impacted that person, it's very hard for you to attempt to relate or have sympathy or empathy for the situation because you're sitting there thinking, I'd be unfazed by this. And in those situations, that's where it's really hard for you to dig deep and be like, I can't control the way that you're feeling, but I can definitely like
I think
support.
it's also my outlook on things.
Yeah, definitely.
I look at things, even the worst things I look for. You know, I have a saying or thing that I like to do, which is when everything hits the fan, when shit can get no worse or something big happens in your life, take a breath and go do something you enjoy. I like, hey, let's go out to dinner. Let's celebrate the fact that we live in America and that we can actually buy. It might be my last $5. I'm going to spend that last $5 on some crinkle cut French fries because that's probably what they cost these days. And we're going to sit and get as many little free ketchup packets as we can and,
gosh, you're
and
hilarious.
have some crinkle cuts. And we're going to enjoy those to remind ourselves that we're saving deals. We're not saving lives.
There you go. That was one of my old propositions. That was
an
my
old
favorite thing.
proposition.
Well, so we have these sayings that we've utilized in business over the last couple of years. And that one actually came from one of my first jobs. Someone said to me, I don't know if I made a mistake. I was like in customer service or something. And someone said to me, we're not shipping hearts. We were shipping paper,
Right.
And it was like, I like stopped in my tracks and I was like, oh my gosh, like you're right. Like I was
this is
so
a life-saving
I
heart
was so
that
upset
someone's
about
life's
it.
dependent on.
No, it messed up someone's job and someone's business who is their livelihood. Like,
Yeah.
they got something late, but it wasn't like someone died because of it.
Right.
And I think it is all perspective and you have to, you want to deliver, but when you don't deliver, it's like you could sit there and dwell on the bad stuff. And most people, they say in business, it's like you could do 99 things right, but if you do one thing wrong, that's the thing that people are going to remember. But I would also argue that if you're in a position, it's like if you do 99 things right and one thing wrong, it's how you handle the one that they'll remember. And if you handle it poorly, that's what ruins the relationship. Not the fact that you did something wrong.
Right. Well, in case in point, like we have a pallet order that needed to go out for our steak seasoning company, Dusted. And we literally, we're constantly shipping up. We actually had stocked up because we knew this order was coming. So we stocked up, but then we just started kind of chipping at all the stock and supply because we have orders that are coming through, every week. And so the PO finally comes in, right? And I'm doing an inventory and everything. And I'm like, holy cow, like we're not going to have enough labels. We're going to be short on activated charcoal and we don't have enough caps. And I knew I had these. So then, of course, I go to order them. Most of this stuff comes in right away. All of a sudden, caps are on back order.
Because the hurricane hits.
Well, I think the caps is just totally they're out of
Sidebar.
caps. They're not even here.
Because I was going to say the mail systems and UPS have been
and some things were
slow in
delayed. So
Florida
like
right
a lot
now.
of our activated charcoal came in late. A lot of these other things. We had bottles that came in that we didn't need, but they came in. But the caps,
of course,
we
it's
got half
what
an
you
order.
Don't need.
They didn't tell us they were in back order. We got half the caps, so we had to find another company and had to expedite those caps to get in so we can manufacture. And so those are just those things where it's like, how do you? I agree with you. It's like, how do you choose to handle?
And with all that
when
being
this bad
said,
stuff happens?
we have been very communicative with that customer, setting expectations, making sure that it wouldn't impact them and any of the sales and inventory that they were throwing up there. So yes, it is how you handle the situations. It's actually been a weird time for business, and this happens with everybody. There are certain restaurants that are out of business completely that we've been talking about, and small retail shops. I mean, you name it. Any poor St. Armand's. I mean, it's just almost every single store has got it. It's a huge, tourist attraction.
That is a huge draw for Sarasota.
Yes. But what I was going to say is there's other businesses who are roofers, who are contractors, who literally can't sleep right now. Like they have so much work. They can't stop. Their business is pouring in the money, whether it's coming from insurance companies or otherwise. And like our temp AC
our Stay
business.
Cool business, we have our franchise concept, Stay Cool. And what we have here is literally, if you go back and you listen to our podcast from a month or two ago, we bought 40 units to do a job, and they were supposed to be there for 3 weeks. They were there for 3 days, and we lost our ass. So we lost like $5,000.
I don't even know if we shared. Did we? I think we shared.
Yeah, of course we shared.
Yeah, I think we shared the whole story.
So literally,
well,
we've had these units sitting here dormant, and so I was like, hey, we need to sell off these units. We're never going to rent them all. And so we started selling off these units, and at first they were like one a week. Then the first hurricane hit.
Yeah, Helene hit,
and it was like
and
2 or 3.
All of a sudden people were like, I need this.
And so, what
and here's the thing. I was just going to say really quick.
It was a good decision at the time to sell the units because they weren't being utilized. Of course, now Black Swan event, hurricane comes. We have the most units in the field that we've ever had. And we have orders, but we can't fulfill them because we're out of units. Whereas if we had kept those units, we probably would have been able to do 2 or more. We would have made more money. And so it's always like that. You go back and you go, did I make a good decision at the time? We made
and
the
people
best
are probably
decision we
sitting
could.
here going, what are people doing with temp AC? But the reality is that the air conditioning either broke before the hurricanes or after the hurricanes, and the ability to fix air conditioning right now, like these people are just
our
absolutely
clients are ordering
swamped.
through us left and
so
right.
even if their power comes back on, their air might not be working and they can still use it. Or people have generators and they're like, please, for the love of God, cool my house down.
Yeah.
Now
we sell crack.
it is a cold front today
I
it was like
know.
57
57
degrees
degrees. Our
in
orders are gonna be like,
Florida.
"Ooh."
No, that's what we thought, but they haven't been. Yesterday was pretty chilly too.
Yesterday was chilly, and we ended up with multiple orders. So it'll be interesting to see what
Don't worry,
happens
it's only
today.
like a 36-hour cold front.
Oh, yeah, no, summer's coming
Dennis
back on
Phillips
Saturday.
is my favorite meteorologist out of Tampa. He's been keeping us all updated, and everyone keeps being like, "There's another storm in the Gulf. It's coming, or it's in the Atlantic."
Yeah.
And he
People are
came
worn
up
out over that.
Yeah, I know. He said that he put up his 13-foot skeletons in his yard to decorate for Halloween, and
'Cause he
so
wasn't worried about
if
it.
he's
Yeah.
comfortable, then everyone should be. So,
Well,
and
if
we
he's
do.
comfortable. So, and we are kind of winding out of the hurt. We've got pretty much everything back on track this week in the office. I feel really good about that.
But it's like little things you forget, like how much you took down. Like yesterday, we went to go do a recipe filming, and we were like, "Oh, our entire ventilation system needs to be set back up."
Well, we have all these red survival boxes around the office, and please remind me to take those home today. I bought those before the hurricane here, but also to set up for our at home. And so to move, I am so OCD. I literally have my entire garage bins color coded to the season.
And the problem is,
And so I got red for emergency danger caution.
But hold on, let's
emergency
just
survival.
tell people how OCD you are. So, like, if I was to be like, "Oh, we need a couple extra Christmas decorations this year," and we bought them, and they needed a bin to go in, if he can't find the exact bins that
The
we
exact red
already
bin.
have, then that means every single bin is going to be replaced, so we can have the number of bins
Yeah.
we
So
need.
if I have 18 bins, which is probably what we have for
I think people
Christmas.
we're doing the bin math in their head.
No, but I just want to explain the severity of this. So, and then I need two more bins.
severity.
And I go out and I can't find that same bin. So what I have to do then is now buy 20 bins of the red.
Maybe that's what I just said.
And then
You're just breaking it down for
then
everyone.
I take the 18 and I sell them on Facebook Marketplace
There you go.
to recoup some of my money.
Recoup.
Yeah. It's not like
You
I
and
have this
Facebook Marketplace,
discrepancy-
man.
this fund where I can just go out and buy unlimited bins.
I don't even go on there, Facebook Marketplace.
Me and Facebook
It's
Marketplace
a
are
crazy
amazing.
place. It's a crazy place. Apparently, we do have another, one of my best friends in town. She's big on Facebook Marketplace. And they're like, if you've ever been looking to sell something, now's the time. Because after the hurricane, I think
Yeah,
people are just
people need
looking to get
stuff.
stuff cheap. And
stuff.
they just need it.
She said that. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go through but I'm like, I'm not a hoarder. I'm not a hoarder, but you would think I'm a hoarder. I'm prepared. Difference. I'm not a hoarder. I'm prepared. I went through and I was looking for things I could get rid of. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm going to need that one day.
Oh my God.
I'm going to need that one day. The moment I sell that, I'm going to need that.
Yeah. Well, it has come in handy for you in the past to keep some things.
You know what today is?
What? The 17th.
National Pasta Day.
Oh yeah, National Pasta Day. I know,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. Yesterday our recipe was mac and cheese because we are a steak company, and so mac and cheese is excellent on the side of like a brisket. Do like a nice
yeah.
baked mac
Oh,
and cheese with a
yeah.
smoked brisket. But
By the way,
anyway.
you need to go look at our.
I am
Yeah.
our recipes on
Oh, yeah.
ordertested.com. No, but I am 25% Italian. So I'm going to claim that one.
Okay.
And he goes, okay, like he's just finding this out for his first time. I have my
Well, if
mom's.
you have olive skin.
My
and
mom's
your-
Italian
your
skin.
mom's Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Your mom's 50% Italian?
yeah,
Is that how you? That's how you arrived to
25%.
Okay, so she's 50.
My
So
dad's
then her
100%
parents-
German.
Right.
So my mom's 50, and then she's like French, Dutch, like she's all kinds of other mixes.
On the other. Okay, so but the 50% just kept getting passed down.
What do you mean passed down? I said 25%.
No, but your mom had 50s, so she's getting 50.
Because
50,
one of
50.
her parents was,
Someone had to be 100% up there.
they're from Sicily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you're at 25%.
I've never been to Sicily. I'd like to go. I have been to Italy, but not to Sicily.
So
but-
so are our kids 50%?
No, they'll be half of 25%.
So 13.5%.
What are you?
12.5%.
I should know this.
German too.
Wow, our kids are going to have a lot of German in them.
Yeah.
Stop it!
Sorry.
Oh my gosh. What just happened here?
Hail Hydra.
And you continue?
That's a Marvel reference.
What? I don't even know.
Yeah. You don't understand. Trust me, my people understand.
Okay.
So,
well, oof. But anyway, what's
Anyway,
your
love-
favorite pasta?
Oh, angel hair.
yeah,
I love
that's the noodle.
thin angel hair. My favorite thing is to make angel hair spaghetti, then put it in a Tupperware, and then let it cool, and then cut it like cake.
I know. This is what we were talking about the other day because we made mac and cheese, and everyone in the office.
I make the right
he
way,
puts
which is like
eggs in
yes,
his.
it's more like a mac and cheese casserole where the cheese is clumpy and just nice and gooey, but it's
Sounds
not
disgusting.
liquidy.
I will
I don't
say,
know what's wrong with people who have liquidy mac and cheese.
everyone in the world loves creamy mac and cheese. Like, if we did a poll, everyone would be on my side for this. And don't worry, people, my mac and cheese recipe has no eggs.
Can we do a poll for national? Actually, can we do that today? Can we put a poll out and just say creamy mac and cheese versus casserole mac and cheese and see who likes the most?
Yeah, we can see.
I think you can create polls on like Facebook.
Yeah, of
and
course
stuff.
you can.
All right, let's do it.
But I really like, I would say, I mean, I'm into lots of different pastas. I think linguine is probably, or pappardelle.
Pappardelle.
Is probably my favorite noodles. I like the thick, long ones. But pesto, just a fresh pesto, like you just can't beat it.
You mean like a fresh pesto
Like a sauce.
on as your sauce?
Yeah.
Yeah. You make. I mean, we do make fresh pesto. I mean, you're like.
Well, everyone should. It takes like 2 seconds to make. People who buy it from the store, it's
people
like,
don't realize
come
how
on.
much like basil and nuts, pine nuts. I think go
Toasted
in there.
pine nuts we use. Yes.
Roasted garlic.
Yeah, it's all very good.
What else goes in there?
Parmesan.
Okay, but there's no creams or anything.
No,
Yeah.
I mean you could, but you can. You totally can do a
we
creamy
do make
pesto.
like a creamy pesto. For
You
like
can add
it's like a
heavy
topping
cream.
or like a.
You can add
like a
heavy cream to your
side, like a
pesto and
dipping,
your.
for chicken and stuff. Yeah.
What's your favorite sauce?
Man, I don't. You know what? Pasta's kind of like pizza to me. I like it everywhere.
I know you can't.
But
really
I will
go
tell
wrong.
you,
Like a good bolognese.
We had a jar. I'm not even sure what this was a jar of. I think it was like sliced, like olives.
No, it was an olive tapenade.
It was. I don't know if it was a tapenade because it had other things in it. But we had a friend over, and you were showing her some things and everything, and I came up and I looked like this. I literally heated up some angel hair that we had from like a day or two before, and then I was like, "What am I going to put on this?" And I saw this jar, and I literally it had never been opened. I opened it, I scooped it out, I stirred it around.
It was just chopped olives,
and it was amazing. Like I will tell you, it's like my new favorite jam.
Yeah, there is like the
No
brininess,
sauce, just noodles.
the brininess of olives. Like it's like having capers in your pasta or something. Like
Oh,
you
I
know,
love capers.
if you have like
put
a
capers
lemon
in our-
piccata or something. I mean, it's like
Okay,
amazing.
now we're getting a little
I
crazy.
know.
Here.
Now we're just hungry. That's all.
I
we
am
know.
hungry. Thank goodness we have some chicken divan in the.
No, I brought you your salad today.
Salad.
Start eating healthy
Can you see how
meals.
excited I am? I'm gonna have salad.
Hey, your
for lunch.
canteen's gonna have soups, salads, and sandwiches. So
Hey.
you better choose the salads sometimes.
But you missed the point. It's gonna be soup, salad, and sandwiches,
Okay.
like a little deli. It's
So
gonna be
the
amazing.
salads takes a back
Yeah.
seat. Oh my
That's
gosh,
awesome.
that's funny. Well, we finished up some before we end. We finished up some shows this week. I think we would
Look,
have to talk
any
about.
of our Big Brother fans out there, Mackenzie, what in the hell were you thinking?
Mackenzie, what did you do?
I'm so pro Mackenzie, and when
Like,
she brought Chelsea
how many
to the
people
end,
screamed
I'm
at their
just
TV?
sitting there going, you know what? And the thing is, you don't want to call people names, but I think we feel like we have this right in the privacy of our homes to be like, you idiot. Like, I would never say that to her. I'd be like, Mackenzie, you played a great game. Super fan of the game that you played and everything else and how you endured.
Well, this is like when the Olympics are going on, and Simone Biles is always posting like, "Oh, I'm glad everyone has an opinion on how I'm performing on an Olympic stage when I've trained
Right.
my entire life."
When
And
she's the one doing things.
and your
I could
300-pound
barely bend
ass
over
thinks
and
you can do
grab
better.
something,
Yeah,
tie my shoe. She's sitting there like backwards and being like, I'm just like, holy shit.
like I can't do a cartwheel, and I'm just like, "Damn, she should have landed that one." You know, it's
I
like
know, that's what I was
like
saying.
how it is.
Man, too bad she didn't land that. Golly, what a schmuck. You know?
Seriously. She's like, "Thank you, world, for your opinions. I don't give a shit."
So look,
You
I have
can't walk
nothing
around
against
blind.
Chelsea. I just wasn't a big fan and some of her mannerisms and the way that she talked and the whole Auntie Julie thing. I don't know. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Oh, I like Chelsea. She's fine.
But you did. We had this
it was
conversation
fine.
for the last 90 days, right? So, but anyways, I was a big Mackenzie. I was a huge Tucker fan.
Everyone
I'm
was
so glad that
there's
Tucker
tons of records have been broken in Big Brother,
Yeah.
and yes, we are really. This is like our.
I love Tucker. He's like the New York guy.
What the hell
That was my Tucker impression.
that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! No,
Tucker.
he's not.
Tucker.
Tucker's Jim Carrey. He's
Boston?
no. Boston Rob is Boston. Anyway,
know. Anyway.
Tucker, I apologize.
Tucker, come
for
to
that.
Sarasota. Take you to dinner. I love you, man.
But no, he's been super humbled. But he's the first person to win America's vote that wasn't on the jury.
That wasn't in the jury.
Yeah, he definitely. But it's one of those things. So Mackenzie's 22. For everyone who hasn't watched the show, there was you get to the final 3 and you win head of household, and whoever wins gets to choose the person that
they
comes
take
to
with them
final 2 with them.
to get picked.
And so long story short, it was very obvious. There was one person who got drugged the entire way there, didn't do much for the game, didn't win any competitions.
That was Cam.
That was Cam.
I mean, we can, let's not mince
we
words
can
here.
name names
Everyone
here.
in America saw Cam schlub his way through to the
Well,
end.
not everyone in America watched, so I'm explaining.
Everyone
but
in America
anyway,
that watched.
if Mackenzie wins had a household, it was a $750 million win.
No, you said everything wrong. $750,000 is the first prize.
I need
Second place
more
is
coffee.
75,000.
Yes.
So we're talking a digit off. Right
Yes,
here,
an
okay?
entire zero.
So she brings the biggest competitor to the final.
Instead of bringing Cam, because she's
Instead of
like,
bringing-
I'm loyal.
And I don't want to say the word loser, but he would have lost. Instead of bringing someone who she would have won against,
Yes, I know.
she did that. So anyway, we were just saying that she's young. She doesn't, and she might just be really well off, and we don't know it.
Oh, well,
So-
it doesn't
and money
matter.
doesn't
You know
matter.
what? She's got a good head on her shoulders, and she's been in interviews after the fact, and she's like, you know, people might be judging me, but none of them were sitting second place on Big Brother. Like, and again,
None
that's
of
one
us
of
could
those
even
things
handle
where
that. I
you-
couldn't handle it.
Oh my God. Well, so we're sitting there during the hurricane, and keep in mind, it's like you don't have your phone, you've lost cell service, you don't have internet, your lights are out. And sure, they have lights, but like, I don't think anyone realizes the
How dependent you
mental,
are.
how dependent you are. But like, you go on like
On communication.
Survivor. No, I'm talking about these shows. Like,
what I'm
you're
saying.
sitting in these houses, and it's like, yeah, you're playing a
But
game.
you're like excommunicado. Like
People
you're
are
just-
like laying around and you're like, wow, this is boring to watch. Aren't they going to do anything? And it's like they're depressed. They've been in this house for 90 fucking days. Like, I mean, I would go into a full blown depression.
I know.
It'd
I
be
was, I
really
was in
bad.
depression after Tucker left. So, but then I rallied and chose Mackenzie as my champion.
Oh my gosh.
And
Well,
I,
anyway,
you know, my horse came in second. I'm cool.
your horse came in second.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything about that statement that people would be like,
Yeah, you bet on horses. He was my horse.
yeah. We do
All
have
right.
we do have friends that that in the beginning of the season, before they watched anything but the first episode, they bet on who's going to be the winners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should do it like they do like
And
the brackets.
that's what we're
basketball.
saying. There's like a Big Brother bracket, but the person who won this year literally won because they bet on Cam, and he's the one that made it the furthest, which was the one that like did absolutely nothing. So it was like the chances of you winning with that. But the other show I've been watching is Love is Blind.
Love is blind.
I'm always watching that. I'm a reality TV show whore, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Yeah.
But
Does that make me a reality show pimp?
Sure. Does that make you happy? No, he is that guy,
No,
though. He's
but
the
I do support
husband.
you,
He
so-
works. Like, he's not like sitting there watching, you know, Love is Blind with me or whatever. He has in the
course I
past.
do.
Well, you have in the past, but you're over my reality TV
You
show
know what?
stints.
I have hit the reality TV show wall.
Yeah, he's like, I'm done.
Which is,
But
I mean,
he's-
for years we've been doing this, and I'm at the point, and I think a lot of it has to do with just my increased responsibilities and the project load that I currently have of trying to bring product to market.
Yeah.
And so my mind is a little bit more focused there. I'm actually looking forward to the mindless zombie stage again. So
You're never mind. He's always doing something. But
I'm-
yes,
I'm
you are
looking forward
busier.
to it.
You are busier both mentally and physically than usual. But you are that husband that's like, you know, on all those memes or gifs or what am I even saying? Reels. I can't even talk today. But anyway, the guy who's like not watching at all, like he's getting a snack in the kitchen and he's like, I can't believe you watched this shit. And then 2 days later, it's like, is that the rich guy? Is he still telling everyone how rich he is? Is he still
gosh.
wearing his Rolex?
that dude in Love is Blind
listen to him, he
is
knows.
literally sitting here and he's like, you know what? I came here for love, and I'm just worried that people are going to love me for
came
the
here
immense
for
amount of money that I
love.
have. I mean, when I roll up in my Lamborghini, people just judge me a certain way. It's like, dude,
He's like,
you
I
came
want
to
to
the
find
show
someone who loves me.
to find someone who loves you, and all you're talking about is how much money you have, you dumbass. Like seriously,
I know, he
like
really was.
that's how like you get like
you
that's
know
why
what, though?
people hate on you. because
Yeah,
you're
but
that
you also
person.
sit there and go, what a personality. He came on for the views or whatever. He's already come and he's like completely owning it. And he's put on his Instagram like 3 rules before, you know, things to do before going on Love is Blind. And it's like, go to therapy before you go on the show. He looks like he's literally having a mental breakdown in one of the
Yeah.
pods. But anyway, the episodes dropped yesterday and I haven't watched them all yet. So I need to catch myself up and then we will
Sweet.
be.
Looks like it's gonna be a fun weekend.
No, I'm going to book club this weekend. I've
I'm gonna
been
go pick up
power
the boat.
reading my book.
So, all right. Well, you know what? It's been a great week. We're looking forward to getting back on track next week.
Yes, we
So-
really do hope that people continue to build back up their businesses and provide food and shelter and everything that's necessary, both here in Florida, in the Carolinas. I mean, it's just ongoing. But by the way, like
you know
we
where
haven't.
I struggle. You know, like I love to do things for the goodness, and you've heard me say this, and because we have a concept that we'll launch in a couple of years, but the reality is people give money to feel good about themselves, and I tell people this, and they sit there like, no, I do it to help, and I'm like, but why? And it's like, oh, I want to help others, but helping others makes you feel good, right? They're like, well, yeah, of course. It's like, yeah, that's the problem. It's very self-serving, and I thought to myself, you know, we have the steak seasoning company, you know, should we go and set up and just barbecue for some of these linemen, or should we go barbecue for these people who are helping out and everything else? And it's like,
There were
why
a
am I
couple.
doing this? Like, am I doing this because I want someone to sit there and go, oh, this company's great. They're doing this and helping us out. And I'm hoping, secretly hoping that someone's going to post something about it. Or am I genuinely doing it because I want to help them?
I think there are some families like the La Mucca Ballerina downtown did free pizza the day after the hurricane or 2 days after the hurricane.
Dude, everyone
The
was calling their friends and family.
The empanada girl ended up opening up a pop-up over by Trader Joe's. She brought her food truck from the market because all the markets have been closed, and she gave out free empanadas. Like she did.
Oh, that's awesome.
See, it is
That helps me.
awesome.
And yeah.
And it's not about like not like this, but she's recognized in the town. People know who she is. She's not trying to build her business or get the business. She's just doing it out of the kindness of her heart.
I don't know. No, but that's the thing. She's doing it to feel good. And I struggle with it. I could have a conversation. You know who?
But it's you have to sit
I need to have
there.
a conversation with Robert Peterson about this, because he would sit there and be like, "Yeah, you're
talking about my uncle."
Yeah, Uncle Bob. I really want to have a conversation with Uncle Bob.
His name is Robert Peterson.
Oh my God. No, there is an first of all, Uncle Bob. I'm not discounting any of your intellect, because you and me are Florida boys, so we know each other. Okay, but
I just did think it was
there's a psychologist, an academic who will. I mean, the guy is amazing to listen to, and so. Anyways, I would have a great conversation with him about this.
I think
will attempt to have a conversation with Uncle Bob about it.
Yes,
this
you
winter.
should. You should.
He'll agree with me all day long.
But here's the reality. If you're capable of giving help, you should. Not necessarily to the larger organizations. If there's something in front of your face that you can do something about and take control over, you should.
Which
That's
is
all
why
that we're
we
saying.
helped in our community and everything else. So
and we continue to patron local businesses.
That's how we try to give back.
And that does do something. It absolutely does
make
something.
sure that our team here is taken care of through the storm. So that's what our goal is. So.
Well, it has been fun. We will talk to you guys next week.
All right. We'll see you next week. Later.